It's happening. I said I was gonna do it. I'm doing it. Here it is. Hello everybody, my name is Kimpa, and this is my review on Rent-A-Girlfriend. Many weeks late. I'm just exhausted. Let's just start talking about the show. Rent-A-Girlfriend is a harem romance anime with the gimmick that most of the girls work as rental girlfriends, where people can pay them to pretend that they're that person's girlfriend, and the drama of the show centers around this. After the main character, Kazuya, is dumped by his girlfriend, he orders a rental girlfriend, Mizuhara, and is caught by his parents' grandmother and Mizuhara's grandmother. And now they must keep up this act as a couple. Very simple concept. The show's mostly slice of life, like, there is an overarching plot, but most of the show's drama focuses on smaller character interactions. And that's basically the premise of the show. And that's all that it's about, so let me start talking about what I like about the show. First off, let's talk about presentation. The art style is actually super pretty. There's like that anime aesthetic, right? The common criticism I see about most anime shows is that they look super similar, and yeah, the aesthetic is pretty cemented. And it's hard to move away from that. And while Rent-A-Girlfriend definitely still has that anime aesthetic, it has some more subtle differences which help it stand out visually. The most obvious thing is the color palette. Characters have really bright colors in their designs, and in tandem with the more pastel colored backgrounds, it really helps make them pop out. Another thing about the backgrounds that I like is that I can only really describe as a filter that is over it. The edges of the screen are lighter and have these patterns that fade the closer it gets towards the middle of the screen. And the character animation is really good too. It feels like the studio that made this, TMS, didn't cut any corners with the show for some reason. The animation is smooth and super expressive. Something I like in particular is how they animate the character Ruka's bow to help express her emotions and personality. And while talking about characters, the character designs and the voice acting are on point. The cast is pretty stacked with some notable voice actors like Soda Amamiya, who voices Aqua from Konosuba and Yoshizawa from Persona 5 Royal, Oriya Takahashi, who voices Megumi from Konosuba and Emilian from ReZero. The highlight characters for me in the show are the main girl, Mizuhara, and the one dude that's friends with Kazuya. Mizuhara really is the most fleshed out character in the show. She's the most real and has this pretty distinct personality, but isn't really restricted by being stuck in one character trope like most of the girls in harem shows. And the dude, I actually don't know what his name is, because he's in the entire show for maybe 20 minutes, but from the little screen time he gets, he seems like a pretty good friend for the most part. He's got Kazuya's back for some reason, and he's probably got the best line in the entire show.
この世で一番気持ちいいのは愛する人とのセックスじゃねえ。愛する人とのセックスの後のオナニーだ。
The sound design is pretty solid as well, and the music absolutely bops. They got the Peggy to do the OP and Hauka to do the ED, and I definitely listened to those songs on repeat for quite some time while the show was airing. And I said a lot of good things about this show, right? There's a lot of things I like, so you may think I think the show is good, right? Well, let's talk about what I don't like. The main character is not good. You can kind of sympathize with him on some level, because he's in a pretty shitty situation. But the thing is, he got himself in this situation, and he's not really doing anything about it or trying to get himself out. He makes so many questionable decisions in the show. I don't really know if you're supposed to like him. He has moments where you could see some sort of character development, but then in the next episode he goes and majorly fucks up. Why? Why do you do the things you do? Why? Please, why? While I'm talking about characters, I'm about to call out some people's waifu, and I would say I'm sorry, but I'm really not. Ruka is annoying. Now, in these waifu shows, I'm normally for the blue-haired girl, or the girl associated with blue. If you've ever seen a harem show before, you know for a fact the blue-haired girl always loses. Always. It's like an unspoken law. I know this, you know this, but I still root for the blue girl no matter what. But holy shit is Ruka annoying. When she's first introduced, for most of her on-screen appearances onwards, she's so frustrating. She has this one-sided infatuation with Kazuya out of nowhere, and then threatens to expose the fake nature of Kazuya's and Mizuhara's relationship while trying to become Kazuya's girlfriend. What? Him? Why? Don't get me wrong, she's mad cute. I get that. Her character design is probably my favorite out of all of the characters, but she is so annoying. She mellows out towards the end of the show, but she's like this for so much of her screen time. I'm getting to the point where I really can't stand her. Anyone who likes Ruka is clearly only thinking with their dicks, but you know what? I respect that. One last thing about this show that I think is pretty bad is the pacing. Oh my god, the pacing is horrible. There will be times where nothing happens, which I guess adds to the kind of slice of life feel of some episodes, but they do have an overarching plot, but it feels like the characters just forget about it and kind of just fuck around for a while. Another thing is the show takes place over the course of a year, which I didn't realize until someone said that it'd been a year since Kazuya and Mizuhara started dating. And my mind was blown. I was like, a year? Like 3-4 months, I get, but a year? Nothing has happened. The situation hasn't improved at all. Like, maybe I'm expecting things where I shouldn't, but the whole setup of the show is that they had to fake a relationship, then end it. So in retrospect, people didn't think that they were faking the relationship in the first place. And it feels like there isn't really anything happening in the show itself, but even off-screen nothing happens. Again, this show could have taken place over like 3 or 4 months, even 5 months, but a year is just wild for a show that is uneventful as this. With how long I ranted about what I thought was bad, you're probably thinking, man, this guy fucking hates this show. But I think I like it? Unironically? Now don't get me wrong, I think the show has major issues, but I'd kind of be lying if I said I wasn't looking forward to a new episode coming out every week. This is my guilty pleasure. I think that the show is bad, but it's like so much fun to watch. Me and the boys would jump into a Discord call, watch each new episode together and be like, man, what the fuck is this? Why are you doing that and stuff like that? But we would show up every week. I guess what does work about this show, and what did kind of help me get invested, is it's pretty obvious the two main leads are going to end up together. So you're constantly hoping and praying that Kazuya becomes a better person who is like worthy, so to say, of like dating Mizuhara, and you're just kind of waiting for him to finally improve himself. But he never does. So in the meantime, just look at the pretty pictures.